It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the San Cruz Warriors PA announcer, Brian Day. How are you doing today?
I am great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to start working in professional sports as a PA announcer?
Well, I kind of got my start. I have to go back to like when I was in high school. I actually was a DJ at a top 40 station when I was a senior in high school. And we broadcast local high school games, football games. And the guy that was supposed to do the play-by-play one night didn't show up. And because I was already at the game, they're like, can you do it? Yeah. So I ended up doing a couple of play-by-play games unexpectedly. And then after that, I occasionally would fill in for the high school football announcer. If somebody was sick, they like, oh, Brian's done stuff. So they would get me to fill in once in a blue moon. Now I've been doing the games, the football games and basketball games at Salinas High for the last 20 years. And about 8 years ago, the Golen State Warriors purchased the Wizards of the G-League at the time. And they moved the team to Santa Cruz, and they had open tryouts for the PA, which one of the referees that did high school, who lived in Santa Cruz, and I live in Salinas, which is about 45 miles away. He's like, you got to go try out for this. You'd be great. And so it was me and 81 other people, and I got the gig.
What was it like whenever you became the PA announcer for the Santa Cruz Warriors?
It was really exciting. Again, I beat out 81 other people for the job, and being part of the Warrior family, it's, from the top to the bottom, from G-Legaue, the owner, to one of the ball boys who, everyone in that organization is great. And, it's just super exciting on a given night. Some of the guys from Golen State will be at our games if they're home and they have an off day. So, we get to meet a lot of famous players, and it's just fun. I know for me, I'm set up at half court, and they're foolish enough to put a microphone in front of my face. So I've got the best seat in the house.
What is a typical game day like for you calling the Santa Cruz Warriors?
It's, can I stop you for 1 sec?
Yeah.
It's the Santa Cruz Warriors.
What is it like covering the Santa Cruz Warriors?
So a typical game day for me for the Santa Cruz Warriors will start out, I drive for a living during the day. So having the flexibility of setting my schedule is good. Usually on game days, I start kind of gearing up for the game around noontime for a 7:00 tip off. I will try to look at the other team's roster. There will always be some hard to pronounce names, a lot of European players in the G-League. And when I get to the arena, I get there around 3:00. Typically, people show up between 4 and 5, but I need to go over game scripts. I run for what I do. I use my laptop. I have the roster set up on the laptop, but I also have my game script, which would be all the ads and stuff I read. And I got to start proofing through that and see if there's any mistakes or what I have to fix, or if like they have wrong information in there, which just happens sometimes. So I spend a couple hours pregame on site going over stuff. And then if there's hard to pronounce names, I will check with our play-by-play guy who makes sure that we're at least saying it the same way. If it's wrong, it's wrong, but we're doing it together. So it's a lot of fun. And then once the game starts, we typically tip off at 7, 6:00. I'm in my seat for good until after the game's over. So no bathroom breaks for me. I just, keep my fingers crossed. It's only happened once that halfway through the third quarter, I needed to use the restroom, but it didn't really matter. I was still stuck in my chair.
What are some of your popular catchphrases that you announce?
So I kind of play homage to I grew up a Golden State Warriors fan and went to games as a kid. And there was an announcer there in the 70s. And I've kind of stolen or tweaked what he used to do on a couple of things. One of the fan favorites is someone gets fouled and they go to the line, although I've had to change that because the G League has some interesting rules on free throws. But I used to do a shooting, and I'd hold out the shooting as long as I could. And then when the player got the ball from the ref, I'd say, two. And so that's become pretty popular. I use that at both the G League games and high school games and college games that I do. The other thing that we do that is crowd interactive is when someone makes a three, I'll say like, Juan Toscano Anderson for 1, 2, and then the crowd fills in the three. So it brings the fans into the game, and it's kind of fun. It's exciting to hear them kind of go crazy.
That's pretty amazing. What was it like to call games for, of course, DeMarco Cousin while he was there?
So DeMarcus Cousin, as well as Steph Curry, have both been assigned to the Santa Cruz Warriors, but they didn't actually play in games with us. The NBA doesn't run 5-on-5 scrimmages during the year. So quite often they'll assign even the superstar players down to us during the season because they do run 5-on-5 scrimmages all year long. And that allows them to get the work in so that they're ready to go back. DeMarcus Cousins' brother played for us. Steph's brother, Seth, who now plays for the 76ers, played for us. Klay Thompson's older brother, Michael, played for us. Blake Griffin's brother, Taylor Griffin, has played for us. So we've had some good siblings out there, but the actual superstars, they're probably not going to take a chance on them getting hurt in the G League.
What is it like to watch the superstars from the G League move up, of course, into the NBA?
It's pretty exciting because, at the G League level, you get to know the players a little bit. Like I said, I'm at the games pretty early, so I'm there during shoot around. And, it's just exciting to see them get their call-ups and their chances to go up. Quinn Cook got called up and signed a contract with Golden State, then signed contract with the Lakers. The player that's really exciting to watch right now, who's playing for Golden State, has played for us, is Juan Toscano Anderson, whose name I use for my 3 points. Juan is a great 6-man off the bench right now for Golden State. Very exciting player, all hustle. He covers both ends of the court. You get a chance to watch a Golden State game, watch for number 95, Juan Toscano Anderson. Really exciting, hustles, defense, can shoot, fun to watch player.
What are some similarities and differences between calling a G League basketball game versus a high school football game?
Well, when I do the high school games, whether it's football or basketball or whatever they throw me into, not as much out of me as you will at like a G League game. There's a lot of stuff I have to do when I'm doing, the professional games. There's ads to read, upcoming games. There's a lot of stuff, whatever promotions we have going on. The high school games are a little bit more cut and dry. They don't really want me talking quite as much, but to be honest, I probably talk a little more than they hope for. You can definitely get away. I can get away with a lot more at a high school game when I'm having fun than I can at the pro games.
Of course, do you see in the future getting the call up to be with the Golden State Warriors as the PA announcer?
Yeah, I mean, it's, that's my dream right now. So fingers crossed that the spot opens up and I'll get a shot at it.
What is something that you learned now that you didn't know before you became the PA announcer?
Wow, it's just, waiting to, there's certain, the flow of the game. It's just the NBA and G League's the same compared to like high school. What I didn't know is how fast these games move. And sometimes when I'm getting a call out at the pro level, I got to get it out pretty fast. Like substitutions happen quick. Sometimes the free throws, they happen really quick. So it's like, you think you have more time than you really do. And it's like, I've really learned to cut my, my spiel, for lack of a better term, but like when subs happen, when fouls happen, it's got to be really quick. And I know at the pro level, I actually have a sound guy. So if I'm having a rough day with my voice or something, he can tweak me in, but he also is in charge of like the music, all the background stuff. And he and I have actually over the years, we have added things that make the game a little bit more exciting. Like when a foul happens for our guy, he makes the basket. It's like, I'll say the guy's name, the basket's good. And he'll do like the ESPN sounder. And we have different things. Like we have a Godzilla soundtrack for a big dunk. And, we'll call it a monster dunk instead of just, a regular dunk. So there's a lot more that goes into the pro game, definitely than the high school.
That's pretty amazing. What are some of your future plans whenever it comes to being a PA announcer?
So, like my future plans are during basketball season, I have a pretty booked schedule. It's not uncommon for me to work between high school, because I do Salinas High. I do UC Santa men's and women's basketball. I have the Santa Cruz Warriors. I occasionally will do like water polo or field hockey or lacrosse for stand call. So it's kind of like my running joke is my future plans are always say yes and have Mike, will travel.
That's amazing. What advice would you give upcoming future sports PA announcers looking to get into sports PA and also on the professional level?
So, really the most important thing is learning how to enunciate. You really do have to learn how to say some of these names that are really, really hard. And sometimes it'll be a case of in a game, the names, like when I type them out, I put them phonetically on my roster because I've got to say it right. It doesn't matter how it's spelled. And some names are really, really hard. And by the time you get it right, the game's over. And it's a visiting team. You may never say it again. But it's really important to do your best to try to say it right. And if you're reading copy, if you're doing a promotion, you just need to, one thing and this is something else I learned, is you kind of have to slow down a little bit and just speak really clear.
That's wonderful advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. And of course, we're here on LinkedIn.
Thank you again, Brian Day, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the San Jose Cruz Warriors.
You as well, Brandon.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Brian Day, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.